All right, what's going on, guys? It's Josh again. Hopefully, you guys have been having a wonderful week trading so far. I want to talk about a pretty exciting time we got coming up here. We got earnings season right around the corner, and I want to just talk about kind of what you should be watching for October, or a few things that I'm watching myself. Give you guys some ideas, like always. Paper trade them, practice with it. If you guys haven't already, check out the free stock trading course. We go over all that, but practice if you're new. If you already have experience, even better. This is now a earnings season where you can prepare. So with that, again, paper trade just in case. If earnings season is very risky. With that, just is the first thing you got to know. So paper trade, you could throw out some plays, be smart, but now it is going to come down to timing. So even with this video, it's an interesting time right now, especially with options. One, we got earnings season around the corner, and two, the market is pretty interesting right now. Even we've been kind of seeing a bunch of down days the last few days. Even with options, it's been very tricky, especially if you see some consolidation. You're going to see theta and time premium just crush some of these options. So it's interesting. There's been a lot of losing trades. There has been some winning trades. I've picked up on some awesome trades, which is why I'm even making this video to tell you guys, like, start planning ahead and thinking. That's what I've been doing. I've had some bad trades too, trying to get averaging down and getting earnings plays over in this whole mess. So, you guys got to start thinking about that. And I guess that's the first thing I will say, start thinking about earnings. So now, as far as what to watch, I'm even thinking I'm going to make some updates to this. I think at the end of every week, I'm going to kind of touch on this, especially coming into earnings and with everything we got going on, because a lot of things are just happening right now. Right now with Donald Trump, there's some political stuff, not too much economic data. We have like CPI and core CPI stuff coming out. So that's somewhat important. But really, markets still spooked by rates and all that. But we're not going to dive too much into that. But what I'm watching for that or is actually going to be banks. I'm not going to play them. That is one thing I saw with the options. I like how Wells Fargo's been looking. It's consolidated up here. It hasn't really moved the last 4 days. The options are somewhat up. I don't really play the banks. A lot of people have asked me about them. I'm not really a fan of them. I think it's going to be an interesting situation with, where the dollar's at and rates and all that. But I'm not really going to be too big of a fan of that. I did see this actually just happened. I might take a look at it tomorrow to see. I could play it after hours right now for you guys, but I won't. But Neo, they just got, I think, a Tesla investor. I forgot whom. I'm not sure if it was the Saudis or not, but they invested and took like 11% stake in Neo. So the stock is up a substantial, is that 30%, 32%? Yeah. So it did that right before close and has just been going on from there. So that'll be interesting to watch. Snapchat's been dying. That's something people have been watching. I think that's important to watch for October because some people are talking about, shorting it. I saw some people talk about buying more puts today. I'm not too big of a fan of that trade. I'm kind of salty. If you guys saw, I posted like a month ago, month and a half at like what 1050. I had those 100 puts and they expired. I never re-upped on those. So I'm still a little salty at that move. I don't want to talk about it, but Snapchat, the premiums are high. I'd be careful. I'd wait. I'd see how that unfolds in October. Maybe reevaluate. Getting puts, maybe calls. Who knows? But I'm not too big of a fan of that put trade on Tesla right now, or excuse me, Snapchat. But Tesla, that's interesting. My calls got burned after the Elon stuff. I got some puts, but they haven't really been moving too favorably. I'm gonna keep them on watch. The puts are actually somewhat cheaper today, and the calls too. So I like that. But now moving into earnings, really, I'm just trying to watch out for the FANG stocks and all that. I did pick up some Amazons the other day for earnings, but I did notice, they kind of went up even after today's move. So what I'm saying with this is if you do want to play earnings and whatever you guys are watching, for, moving out here, there's a few things you can, again, for earnings. And if you want to play earnings, there's many ways to go about it. It's looking for the fundamental stuff, in the movements, and then also stuff that, is going to actually move, or, understanding the expectations. But that being said, you know, the Amazon is an interesting play, and what I got it is planning ahead on it. I've been down on some of the other ones I've purchased throughout the week, but I'm kind of seeing now a shift where the premiums are starting to pick back up. So I'm kind of looking ahead. My plan with it, as far as even, Facebook, Netflix, all these, I don't know about this earnings season. I'm not too confident. This is what I was talking about, looking at it from a fundamental standpoint. Earnings from last quarter were all really, really high. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I think some expectations are low, some are really high. I want to throw a few, crazy puts out just in case people really have drastic misses or profit warnings. But for the most part, I'm really trying to just play the run up into earnings. And I don't know if I'm going to hold actually through some of these earnings. So that's where I'm at with that. But now, what I'm looking for with my earnings plays, I'm looking for stuff that's going to move, but I'm also looking for stuff too that hasn't really had good expectations. So that's why, Netflix is one of those of the FANG that I like. They had that miss last quarter. They dropped, they've been kind of creeping back up here. And I think, if they could there's been some good data that's came out. I like them, but am I going to hold into earnings? I'm not too sure. My plan, again, flip them coming into that. But watching these earnings, and what stocks I'm really watching. Another one too, McDonald's. That kind of had its rip. I've been watching that for a while. My calls are up on that, so there's a lot of premium. But I'm watching kind of these lower level stocks, CSX, transportation. I think energy and oil and energy, transportation, stuff like that will have some stuff will have good quarters, and transportation is kind of an auxiliary to oil. But beyond that, I'm kind of focusing on kind of some of these big players again throughout the week. And then lastly, to watch in October, I think the final thing that's been on people's mind is China and some of this stuff. So with that, that brings up Win, Baidu, JD, and Alibaba. And I'm looking at all those, talking with some people. The December, or no, excuse me, not December. The Alibaba, calls for earnings and even puts are looking pretty good. So I want to see what happens with that in that situation. But seeing how that unfolds will be very, very interesting. If you have the stomach for the volatility, and are seeing kind of what's going on with China, you might be able to snag some good plays on some of those Chinese stocks. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be watching. I will be watching chip makers too, Microsoft, Microsoft, and then chip makers like AMD and even Nvidia. Those are my main ones. But I stepped away from MU, and there's a lot of things going on. But really, again, during this period of both consolidation and coming in earnings, I'm trying to zone in, trying to get my FANG stocks, trying to get stuff. But now I'm planning. But the big risk moving forward with October is that this volatility comes back, and that we see another leg down that could really mess up a lot of things for these earnings plays. So that is a big risk I'm taking. That's why I'm saying I'll keep you guys updated by the end of this week, and we'll see what happens from there. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be interesting. It is going to be a decent opportunity, a great opportunity if things recover and bounce from here. But there is some stuff, but more often than not, it looks like it will bounce. But coming into earnings and how companies are going to respond, that's another story. So I'll keep you guys posted with that. I'll try to keep this short. Hopefully this helps. You guys have any questions, let me know. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Love y'all.